Good morning. So in our previous class we had left at this point of time. Yes, that is, we were seeing the concept called Moore relay, or it is also called as admittance relay. Yes, so basically we had seen this. I'm just revising. So this is our generic equation, and we have a directional element and also a restraining element. Of course, K4 is due to the spring constant, which is neglected. So this is a directional relay basically with some restraint. So basically in directional relay there is no restraint, but here there is a restraint. So in addition to directional relay we have an restraining element. Okay, so we have seen this already in the previous class, but nevertheless we will revise it. Okay, so hope you have gone through this equation, and ZR is less than Z set cos phi minus or theta minus tau. So which is, this is extra when compared to, yes, do you remember, this is extra, this cos term is extra when compared to your impedance relay. So in impedance relay you had only ZR less than Z set, you have this extra. So what does this extra means? Okay, we shall see it. Now we also have seen that, see, somehow we have figured out tau. I'll discuss how tau should be varied, but somehow we'll understand that we have figured out tau. Once we have figured it out tau, so we'll draw XR, and from that tau we actually draw a line, the length equal to Z set. Okay, Z set. Yes, so this is how we get this line, and this is of course the because of directional feature. So this has a directional. So this mo is this directional with this maximum torque angle line MTA, okay, which is displaced from real axis by an angle tau. So this was which was done earlier. Okay, this much we had discussed earlier, and this also we had discussed in our previous class that, okay, this is a fault line characteristics. This is an MTA line. MTA line is nothing but it's a diameter, or sorry, it's a line length Z set, okay, which is making an angle tau from with respect to R. Now how to draw this circle? What is this circle actually? This circle is due to, it is having some restraint. See, restraint means what? Limiting. It is a limiting factor, correct? So it is not allowing it to operate in entire this above region. Okay, this entire this above region it is not allowing to operate. Yes, which was the case in directional, but here since it is having a limitation or restraining aspect, that restraining aspect is due to K2 VR square. Okay, K2 VR square. Yes, so here it should be K2. I had written K2 but it looks like R2, sorry. Okay, so now how to draw this line? I'll tell you how to draw this Mo characteristics. So take XR axis, okay, and from there you assume that you know somehow tau. How to determine tau we'll see. So you assume that you know tau. So tau is an angle, okay. At that angle you draw a line length equal to Z set, okay, and then, okay, you divide the Z set by 2. Okay, once you divide the Z set by 2 you will get this midpoint. So keeping this as the center you draw a circle. Okay, so what is Z set now? It is a diameter of a circle actually. Okay, it is a diameter of a circle, wherein which in the case of impedance relay, what did you do? You actually took Z set as a radius. So that's why the circle was something like this. I'll draw it and show. The circle was something like this. Do you remember? Okay, it was this big because Z set was the radius then. Okay, so that's why it was covering lot of the region. Okay, yes, that's why it was covering lot of the region. So please remember this. Okay, because in next topics like impact of arc resistance and impact of your power swing, okay, in that case we'll have to compare this. So because of this larger circle indicates what? Okay, this is the tripping region. Inside the circle it is a tripping region, okay, for impedance relay. Here also for more relay, so this is the trip region, okay. See here we have written it as trip region. So outside it is a restraint, outside it is a restraint, means no trip. So this is the fault characteristics. As usual we want to, okay, protect it for the length AB. Yes, so this is as usual. So this is how we draw the characteristics. I'll repeat the procedure to draw the characteristics. It takes XR axis, okay, and you draw a line of length Z set at an angle tau with respect to R, and divide Z set by 2, that is the radius. So once you divide it, you will get the midpoint of Z set. So with that radius you draw a circle, so you will get this. So what is the advantage of this as compared to the impedance relay? Okay, it operates for a small region, okay, its operating area is very less, okay, this is the one of the advantage. Fine. Now this is how it is been implemented, and now we will see actually the implementation of Moore relay. See, the implementation of Moore relay is generally it is a induction cup structure actually, okay. So here we have something called as 4 poles, just the way you saw it in reactance relay. In reactance relay you had two polarized current coils, but here, okay, yes, you remember it, right? In reactance relay there were two polarizing current coils, but here you have two polarizing voltage coils. So this is the polarizing voltage coil and this is also the polarizing voltage coil. So along with this polarizing voltage coil, okay, current coil is operated in order to get operating torque. So interaction of operating current coil, so this one which is 3, and polarizing voltage coil which is coil 2 and 4, okay, they interact to produce operating torque. Is that fine? So please you should know this, the construction as well, okay. Of course for this chapter construction is not required, okay. So why didn't I cover these construction details in first chapter is because even textbook hasn't given it, and it is very much necessary in order to understand it better, the characteristics, it has to be addressed here, so I didn't address it there, okay. But nevertheless for this chapter these construction details are not required, but characteristics, okay, of different relays, like these are different relays of distance, correct, distance relay, different types of distance relay. What are those? What we have seen till now is, one is impedance, okay, then another is, yes, reactance, and the third one what we are seeing is now is an Moore relay. Fine. So coming back to this diagram, so this is an induction cup type. So once this makes an operating torque, okay, there is a operating torque, operating force exerted here, so this goes and touches with the trip coil and the trip decision is taken. So what is happening here, we are trying to adjust R and C to get a required value of tau, okay. See, tau is what? Yes, tau is a operating angle, okay, operating angle, yes. So you can adjust here, so either R or either C, whichever is variable, you vary it so that current changes here. So you are changing the current through this to adjust. So the operating force is current and voltage, okay, you might have seen in the equation current and voltage, okay, do you remember? So this is that K3, what you are adjusting is the K3 now, okay. And one more thing is only dependent on that is voltage, okay. This is our restraining means this is our restraining coil. So there is one more force, that is restraining force, which is produced due to restraining voltage coil along with the polarized voltage coil. So you can see here interaction of restraining voltage coil, okay, this one first coil, along with the polarized voltage coil, we have a force produced which is called as restraining force. Okay, that is your, okay, K2 VR square. So it is only dependent on voltage. See, here also voltage, here also voltage. Again you can, okay, you can adjust that radius, okay, operating region, by changing this. Yes, because, okay, this is K2 into VR square. Okay, but this circle, how do you get? Circle, how do you get? It is again cos theta minus tau. This curse, if you substitute different values of tau, okay, yes, so you will get a circle only. See, yes, you know it, right? So sine wave is nothing but a representation of a circle. Okay, so the angle goes here 0, okay, then at this it is 90 degree, at here it is again minus 9, okay, here, and again here it is here, and at this point it is again back to 0. So this is a circle, because, okay, continuous paths, you know it, right? So this is a sine. If this is a sine, cos is also a circle. Okay, fine. So there are two purposes. One is we can control R and C to set tau, okay, to set a tau, and you can also, okay, you can also decide the restraining force. You can vary this. K2 can be varied along by varying the same R and C. So K2 can also be varied, and also this, okay, you can vary this. See, if you make theta equal to tau, if by varying tau, if you make theta equal to tau, then it means you can actually have this much length to be protected. Okay, so now, so what did you notice here? Actually, when I said that, okay, if you change the R and C, you can change the tau. What is that? What is that the meaning? So we have actually K3 into, okay, yes, VR and IR, yes, here, okay, into cos of that. So what you are doing here actually is you should change the angle between, because it is cos of theta minus tau. So you want to change the tau. It is nothing but angle of what? This term is associated with S, V and I. So this is V, suppose, and obviously I will be here because, okay, current will be lagging, because first voltage will be there and then current will come in, okay, in a transmission line. Okay, fine. So voltage is given, and this is, so this, because of this force, because of these two coils, okay, and since both are inductive, okay, this lag is due to, the transmission line. Of course you know it, right? So current comes late, voltage comes first. Okay, and always you should assume that you are standing here, okay, and you are seeing here. So first voltage is coming, and then current is coming. This is how the phasor diagram works, you know it, right? So this is the basics. Now you want to change this angle. How do you do it? So you increase the capacitance of this, so inductance is reduced, so obviously the angle will change. The IR may come here, or, okay, you add some, okay, if you remove capacitance, it means you are adding inductance. If you are removing the whole capacitance, means what? You are adding, it is at some optimal point maybe. Okay, so you can change this. So this is how you are changing the tau. This is one thing. Now, and I also said that this is also used for the second case, where, see, for first case is for operating torque. Operating torque is between polarizing voltage coil and operating current coil. Now the second force is restraining force. So restraining force decides what? Okay, yes, is decided by the voltage. So this is also voltage coil, this is also voltage coil. So current will come simultaneously, there is no difference. Current will come simultaneously, so there has to be difference, because a force will be produced only when there is a difference in flux. So that is again produced by this. Okay, hope you find. So this is okay, one solution for two problems. Okay, or it is a common solution for two requirements. Okay, so here to change the tau, here to have a phase difference between two fluxes, because voltage, this is also voltage coil, this is also voltage coil. So you can see here supply is from the same. So to have an force, you should have a difference in fluxes. Fine. So, and you should note that the diameter here is ZZ. Okay, I didn't write it here, so I just remind it here. So diameter of circle is equal to ZZ. Okay, now coming to one more thing. Okay, so we had seen a normal load line. So this actually comes in power system aspects. Okay, so why the load line will be, some normal load line will be like this. See, normal load line, okay, normal load, resistance will be high. During normal load, resistance will be high. Okay, so it will come where, here I had shown you in reactance, okay, in our previous topic. Okay, how this line comes like this only, it will, you might have studied it in power system subjects. Okay, so that is not the point here. So basically resistance will be high, so resistance is high, inductance is less for normal load, because normal load current will be there, correct? It is a normal current, it is not an abrupt current. Okay, if it is an abrupt current, current is high, it means obviously resistance is less. But here in normal load, current is normal, I mean, okay, it is rated, so resistance will be high, so therefore resistance is high. Now since the circle radius itself is less, okay, it will not cover that high resistance area. This is high resistance area, it is not covering because circle is less. Why circle is less? Because circle radius is Z by 2, whereas in your impedance relay, Z is, okay, Z is the radius only, but here Z is radius by 2, it is divided by 2, so therefore circle is less. Since circle is less, this does not operate. Okay, this does not operate here. So since the radius is very less, okay, or the circle is very less, it doesn't, okay, engulf the normal load condition. So here it will not operate it. So you can see here it is an outside this circle is no operation, that is no tripping. Fine. So it comes under restraint, so it will not consider the normal load, okay, as the tripping region. Whereas in reactance, okay, you had reactance line like this. So here normal load, anything below this, okay, reactance was considered as, okay, fault, that is it was tripping, right? Yes. So here it was, and it was operating, which was a fault assumption or malfunction, but here that malfunction doesn't happen. So this is one of the advantage. Okay, and we have other advantages also, we will see it. Okay, next we will take arc resistance. So for arc resistance, so let me draw this. Okay, let me draw a circle. Okay, so this is the arc circle. Yes, I mean that is the circle. So this is our MTA line. Okay, let us assume this is the MTA line and this is your load characteristics. Okay, so this is our MTL line and this is our load characteristics line. So this is point B and this is A, correct? Now, okay, due to arc resistance, due to R, okay, you can see the R will start here and this line will shift, this AB line will shift here, okay. And why? This is due to arc. So what is happening? So here it is operating up to only here, okay, and that will be reflected here, okay. Yes, so in diagram this is point C, okay. So I think we don't need a MTA line here, right? So this is our arc resistance, you remember it, right? Now what is the under reach? Under reach is always in percentage, it is BC, okay, which was, it has to actually operate up to here, but it is operating only up to this point. This effect of arc resistance, I think you have already come across two types of relays, impedance relay and reactance relay. So in this relay also, so it is total length AB into 100. So this is the arc resistance, of course this is also the arc resistance, okay. Now it should have operated up to AB, but due to arc resistance it is operating only up to AC. So this is short of this much BC, so that is the under reach, okay. Now this is more severe case, or okay, it is more prone to the arc resistance compared to the impedance, because the radius is less, the percentage is high here, okay. So this is not a good sign when compared to your impedance relay. So the immune to arc resistance for more relay is very less here, okay. So hope you got that point. Now when this will come into picture, okay, do you remember when this will come into picture? Yes, arc resistance is due to the resistance of an insulation, okay. And when this will come into picture, normal load, okay, when you have a double-ended or double end fed system, okay. For example, you have double end fed system, here you have EA, you have, okay, ZA, this is A, and you have a relaying point here, okay. So you have a relay here, you have a PT and CT, of course you know it, right? So you have also a C, this is a PT and this is a CT, this is a CT and this is a PT, okay, fine. So you have a transmission line, yes, impedance, and also in a double-ended system we consider this as point B and we have ZB, okay, and we have this, we have this EB. So we can call this as ZSB and this as ZS. This is how we had called earlier. So this is working at an angle delta. This generator is operating the rotor angle operating at an angle delta, okay. Here it is operating suppose at an angle 0, okay. So when there is a power swing, okay, just draw it roughly, okay. When there is a power swing, what will happen? So we have seen the power swing line, right? So it goes something like this, okay. So power swing, when it happens, delta changes and this rotor angle of generator B also changes. So rotor angle changes. Rotor angle is nothing but load angle, correct? See, when there is a power swing means what? Outage of a big tie line or a large load, power variations will be much. Okay, we call it as power swing, and this is the locus of power swing, correct? Yes. And this is our load characteristics, suppose. So this is our trip region and this is our restraint region. Okay. So this is a circle actually. Let me draw a circle itself. Okay, it's looking weird actually, not looking good. So let me try to draw a circle itself. Okay, now it is less prone to okay, the power swing, because it is again the radius is less, or the circle radius is less. So this more relay is less prone to the variation in power swing. And there is something called as electrical center, and we get it by actually the impedance. So let me take this. So this is what? ZSB, because this is beyond the length AB. So this is our A and this is B. Okay, so beyond AB ZSB is there, and beyond this, okay, some textbooks, okay, some author consider the resistance also, but we are neglecting resistance for simplicity. So this is ZSA. So okay, along with ZL, so this is the ZL. Okay, yes. So this line, okay, this line will move such that, okay, it will intersect it. So pardon the delay happening because of this technical writing things. Okay, so yes, so this is our electrical center. We call it as C, electrical center. Okay, which we have also seen in previous cases. Okay, so this is a line that is power swing. So power swing is that, okay, the one which during a large power variation, power swing happens, and this locus may come in contact with this or within this region, and of course obviously it will, okay, come in contact with this, that we call it as electrical center. And since the resistance is less, again the effect of power swing is less here. The effect is very less. So the only disadvantage is due to arc resistance. Otherwise, due to this power swing, okay, yes, this power swing and this normal load line, it is a good thing. So this is having advantages compared to impedance line or reactance line for normal load condition. It is also having advantages over power swings, but it only has disadvantages over arc resistance. It is more severe compared to impedance relay. Yes. So impedance actually becomes very less when the power swing is high. The power swing is nothing but, see, current is high. Okay, when loads are not there, sudden loads, high loads are removed, obviously generation is more, load is less, so current will be high. When current is high, obviously resistance is less. But here, okay, what is being measured? Okay, this relay operating force is due to voltage and current. Yes, voltage and current, ratio of that is Z. Okay, so here current is high. Okay, current is high, so impedance seen by the relay is less. Since impedance seen by the relay is less, okay, during power swings, it will operate for this region. Of course it will operate for this region. Okay, if if impedance seen is within this circle, but the circle is less, hence the variation of power swing, okay, the effects on the relay is less. That is, it will not operate if it is here, but in case of okay, in case of impedance relay, it was this much, the circle was this much, so you can see here the effect was more, but here the effect is less. Okay, so it will not operate for more area. So since operating area is less, because the inside the circle the operating area lies, so because of that, yes, because of that there is an advantages over impedance relay. So that's it about impedance relay. Okay, yes, so to overcome this, actually, okay, to overcome this power swings, we actually go for special relays known as blinders. Okay, we call it as blinders to prevent the operation of power swing. So none of the relays what we have seen, they are more immune. They are not immune actually. None of the power swings are immune to the none of the relays are immune to the power swings. So we use actually what, different special relays called as blinders to prevent the operation of power swings. So that's it for this more relay topic. Now we shall revise the things, quickly revise the things. So there were some drawbacks of overcurrent relay. What was the drawback? It was dependent on the type of fault. So if the fault is three-phase fault, okay, then yes, if the fault is three-phase line, then the fault current would be maximum, okay, and as the length increases, the impedance also increases, so the fault current would also decrease. So for maximum fault, that is three-phase fault where the maximum fault current is there, it would reach the maximum distance, so it would cover the maximum distance, this overcurrent relay, right? So if the fault is something else where fault current is less, it would reach to the lesser distance, okay, overcurrent relay. Now this is one disadvantage, and second disadvantage was it was dependent on the source impedance. Yes, impedance is high, the fault current is less. Yes, so to overcome these two advantages, we actually used something called as distance relay. Okay, so it was measuring the voltage and current, it was measuring the voltage and current at this particular point. Okay, so V by I, the ratio it was taken, and that ratio is nothing but Z. V by I is Z. Okay, so depending on the value of current and value of voltage, it would reach a certain distance. So hence the distance relay is directly proportional to Z. So since I am revising, I am going quickly. Okay, so this is our generic equation. Okay, our universal equation of torque. Okay, so K into I square, K1 into I square plus K2 into U square plus K, okay, it is K3 actually, K3 Vi cos theta minus tau. So where tau is maximum torque angle and theta is impedance angle, correct? Theta is impedance angle. So torque is basically taken from this equation. So to produce a torque, we need two fluxes. Okay, so since it is product of two fluxes, you can see here it is square. Okay, either it can have only due to current or due to voltage or due to combination of both. So when there is a combination of both, of course there will be a difference between voltage and current, phase difference. That phase difference is nothing but impedance angle theta. So impedance angle theta and maximum torque angle. So how to have a torque? Okay, yes, we will see. So that aspect is not there in impedance relay. So in distance relay there are three types. So first one was impedance. In impedance this term was made 0, so we had only this. So this was the operating torque and this was the S restraining torque. So we had seen that. So this was the formula. Okay. And then we had seen this Rx diagram. Okay. And since I don't want to cover everything, okay, there was an effect of arc resistance here. Okay, compared to Moore relay the effect is less here. In Moore relay the effect of arc resistance is more. Yes, and there was no directionality property here. If we are using impedance relay, we had to use this extra feature of directionality. Okay, and we came across something called as power swing. Okay, so it was also it was not immune to the power swing because it was covering large area. So yes, fine. Then we came across another relay called as reactance relay. Here we totally eliminated the effect of arc resistance, because whenever there is a fault there will be an arc there will be an resistance, okay, mainly due to arc. Okay, that we somehow got rid of, okay, arc resistance, because here resistance is not at all counted, here only reactance is taken, correct. So because of that we eliminated that. But the problem of load, normal load, okay, maximum normal load at unity power factor was a problem actually. Even the normal load would be considered as the fault. Okay, so these are the constructions. Then we came across the Moore relay. Okay, so here effect of arc resistance was nullified in reactance relay. Then we came across the Moore relay. So Moore relay had inbuilt directionality property. If you had gone for reactance relay or impedance relay, you should have added extra feature, but here it is an inbuilt quality. So since it was an inbuilt quality, okay, this is more widely used. So basically this is used for large or longer transmission line, okay, and impedance relay is used for medium transmission line, and short transmission line your reactance relay is used. Okay, so we always have tau less than theta here. Okay, you can see yes, tau is always less than theta. So all the three relays are been put together here. Yes, so you can see that the outer circle is the outer circle is the impedance relay. Okay, yes, and this is the reactance relay and this is the Moore relay. So generally, suppose this is the point or this is the length. See, this is the fault characteristics, right? So if this is the length what we want to protect, okay, yes, so in order to have that, so that particular reactance, okay, and almost radius of Moore relay, that is the diameter of Moore relay is also considered that, and the radius of impedance relay is also considered as Z set. So this is Z set, right? Yes, fine. Now why we take tau less than theta, why we take tau less than, almost near to theta but less than theta, it is not equal, is to reduce the effect of fault resistance. Okay, to reduce the effect of fault resistance. See what happens here, suppose Z set is this diameter, correct, this diameter of this Moore relay, okay, or radius of this impedance relay. So this MTL line for Moore relay is almost that distance, but tau is slightly less than that. In this diagram I have shown lot difference, but it will be bit near. Why? Because if it is not near, if it is far, if tau is too less, if it is too less, for example here, suppose if it is here, then it would have an under reach here. Do you agree? Under reach is, yes, this is an arc resistance. Due to arc resistance, this much would be the resistance, okay, then this much is the under reach. So in order to avoid that under reach problem, okay, we take almost okay, we take almost tau equal to theta, so that the under reach problem is not an issue. Okay, so we use Moore relay for long transmission line. Okay, as I said, whenever the transmission line is long, we go for Moore relay. Why? Because it covers less area, correct? You can see the circle is very small compared to impedance relay, so it covers less area, so it is less affected by the power swing. Okay, see, long transmission line has more impedance. Okay, when there is more impedance, yes, it is less affected by the power swing. So power swing line you would have seen like this. Okay, it would be like this. So since it covers less area, okay, so it is more immune to the power swings. And we go for impedance relay when there is a medium transmission line. Okay, why? Because in medium transmission line, again of course it is affected by arc resistance. We know that impedance is also affected by arc resistance, but and it is also affected by power swing, but not as much compared to the reactance relay. In reactance relay, power swing problem is much. So in medium transmission line we use impedance relay, and in reactance relay, okay, the arc resistance is negligible, so it is used for small transmission line. Why? Because in small transmission line the impedance is almost comparable to the resistance. Small transmission line means what? Resistance will be high, impedance will be less. Okay, resistance is small only, but it is comparable to the impedance. Okay, so anyhow reactance relay is immune to the arc resistance. So for small transmission line we use reactance relay. So this is the summary of all these three relays. Okay, so we will see, did you get it? So for long transmission line, Moore relay, medium transmission line, reactance impedance relay, and small transmission line, reactance relay. Okay, now we will see application of this in few more details of these relays with respect to the transmission line, protection of transmission line. So we are left out with only one video. So till now whatever I have summarized, okay, just now whatever I have summarized starting from the overcurrent relay disadvantages. So these are all, this content is covered in from previous 3 videos, so including this 4 videos. So I request you to go through all these 4 videos in serial. So I have put it as transmission line protection part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. Okay, and so total 5 videos for this chapter. So I request to go through all the videos. So with another video, maybe in next class we will finish this topic. That's it. Thank you.